I'm not familiar, but it sounds good.
Oh yeah, it's a great tune. It's an old ragtime.
Yeah.
Piano tune. And Dave Van Ronk had a big thing with that in the 60s.
Okay.
He's transcribed.
Yeah, this one on a little team lifting up to the truck.
Are we all playing together?
You and me are five back and forth.
Yeah. Oh man, I had one of these.
Yeah.
Probably it.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm just looking for a little app.
You've been here for a while, haven't you?
Been here for 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you now? Down in Sweden? I'm playing a little, very little.
So I've been doing this gig here to pay the bills, and I come for 2 or 3 months at a crack and just work and pay the bills. Every once in a while I do that government meal thing.
I'm doing
What goes through the harmonica account?
well, you hadn't lived until you heard 20 harmonica players don't know how to play, all playing together.
I was gonna give you.
And then I look for all the
Today with the t-shirt, I'm getting 50.89. This is where it says 500 right here.
This order is actually owed by Jimmy Henry. And he gave it to Jimmy Vaughn.
No, it's Jimmy Vaughn.
Jimmy Vaughn's playing shop too. That's why it's so
Do you have this number?
you know
There's one up in the kitchen upstairs. It's up there. I was thinking about it. There should be no room here. Want a drink or something? Looking around?
Sure.
You got a couple options.
told you that I love you. I want you by my side. Every night and every hour.
I'm gonna be okay.
Oh, that's you when you're playing like this. That's your guitar.
Well, you know, you're about to-
Yeah, I'm glad you guys.
It's okay. I'm gonna this.
Pardon me.
Last year we had Big Al.
Okay. Oh, yeah, him and Lucy Spiller.
Yeah, yeah. Lucius came, I think. I don't know if he was here last year.
Well, you just see it.
What's up, man?
You know who all these guys are.
I only know them two up there.
I know Big T.
Terry Harmonica, Mississippi.
I was listening to him.
So you already know BT?
I've met him a couple times. Yeah. We saw him at Bugs Down.
Ground Zero, Red.
Experts,
Yeah.
same thing, all the way through everybody. And then, I don't know, just figure out what.
Yeah, see,
Everybody's going one at a time, right?
Yeah, sit back one
Yeah.
at a time.
Are we ready? Everybody ready? We're getting there, we're getting there. All right, I'm loud enough, I don't need a microphone. First off, I want to say thank you everyone for coming for the Eastside Kings Festival, one of the best festivals in the whole country and the whole world. Eddie Stout and the Eastside Kings Foundation is my hat off to you. Also, we want to thank Mr. Steve Fulton and Austin Vintage Guitar for hosting this here each and every year. This is
that's good.
the Scott M. Bach Memorial Guitar and Harmonica Clinic, which precedes the festival, which will start later this afternoon. God rest his soul, writer and photographer Scott M. Bach, good friend of ours, good friend of the blues for many, many, many years. So we're so happy we can continue this on in his name. That's about how loud it's going to be. So
Okay,
what's that? Oh, okay, well, look
One,
on
two, one,
the
two.
bass
1, 2.
controller. Is there a bass
One.
control? All right,
1, 2.
we got
1, 2.
trouble already.
All right.
So basically, how we're gonna do this, I've got a list of everyone that's up here right now, and I'm gonna introduce each and every one of them, one at a time, and they'll say something about themselves after I give them an intro, and then they'll play a little bit. Then we'll move to the next person, the next person, the next person, go through everyone, and then we'll see if we can get a little jam going at the end, get everybody going. So, matter of fact, the man at the mic, we'll start right here. I've been doing this band for many, many years. I run a guitar and bass workshop called Down to the Crossroads in Clarksdale, Mississippi. We do it 3 times a year. And a long time ago, that's when I met Terry Harmonica Bean. We had him come in and entertain all the people at the workshop. And he asked my partner, Mr. Ralph Carter, he said, how long do you want me to play? And Ralph said, well, as long as you want. He went for over 3 hours. We couldn't get him to stop. He just kept going and going. But he's played all over the world. In Clarksdale, Mississippi. Put your hands together, Mr. Terry Harmonica Bean. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, like I said, my name is, all you blues guys have to have a stage name. Terry Harmonica Bean, my stage name is entertainer. But my name is Terry Wayne Bean. Terry Wayne Bean is the baseball player. Back in the early 70s and 80s, I was drafted in the Major League with the White Good and Dale Strawberry, Roger Clemens and all them. But I got banged up in a motorcycle wreck in 1980. It cost me a career. So then I went to just playing around with the blues, because my father had passed, my grandfather had passed, and all of the blues guys in Northeast Mississippi, other than Aubrey Burnside and Junior Kimmel, but they's 30 miles north of me. But in my area, Pontotoc, Algoma, Mississippi, and Houston, all your blues guys, that style of blues was gone. And I decided that I would just kick off this area of Pontotoc, Hill Country Blues, this sound that I do. People thought it was new music, but it's not. It's been around all the time. It's always been around, but nobody was doing it anymore. No one was recorded. When you heard Hill Country Blues, you'll think of R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimmel, or Mississippi Fred McDowell. But it's much more further down south. Every blues town you go in Mississippi, everyone, it's a blues guy there somewhere. I met Mr. Robert Johnson 2 years ago in Vicksburg. I was in a little blues town. I got booked for a show in Marietta, this little country town. And I booked to go there. And I got there and I was playing outside. About 7 or 8 French people, had to bring breakfast for these black people to put this on. And I saw this old man walking down the street with his guitar in his back, dressed up in his suit. I didn't know what he was going, but he was Right up there while I'm playing that. Walked up on the stage and I stopped. After he got up on the porch, I said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Robert Johnson." Robert Johnson, that's what I was, when he said Robert Johnson, he said, "No, not the Robert Johnson you think about." But I know you could have been him. But this man was 91 years old himself. He's still living. Now, I thought I want to hear you play. He had his acoustic guitar. He called it a box guitar, just like the older guys. I stopped playing, got over there, listened to him play. I said, what key you gonna be doing it in? He told me, but I knew he didn't know about keys. He just started tuning. He tuned to himself. And I knew about that stuff, you know, I knew how that works. And man, just to listen to him play, with the high voice he had, church voice, Mr. Leadbelly. That's the style he was doing, very good, you know. So I hooked him up on my PA system, the mic so people could hear. And that's how it started. He never been anywhere, you know, other than that place. And the people I was working for, did y'all know this guy? Yeah, we know him. We didn't know he played. But he was there. So I've been trying to get my friend Roger Stoley to book him at the Juke Joint Fest next year. Because I want people to see him. But he ain't never been nowhere. He never been out. And for us trusting somebody, I think I can get him if I have to go get him and bring him and carry him back. You know, I have to do that. Because he ain't gonna get
Go get him a blast a little bit.
Yes. Yes, he's very good. Sounds just like Leadbelly, if you ever heard of it. You know, he's a real player too. And he said, you blow, you can blow the harp with me. Well, I understand what you were doing. You tune into yourself, so the key, the notes and stuff that I know, like little Walter or James Cotton be doing, you got to forget about all that. Play to him. Yes. All right. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, over here, the Terry's right, you're, Terry's left, our right. From Clarksville, Mississippi, I've seen him at the Ham Bone, I've seen him at Red, I've seen him at the Juke Joint Chapel, I've seen him at Ground Zero. Put your hands together, Miss Big T. Williams.
And like Terry said, I'm Terry number 2, Terry number 1. And he said, Big Jack was my father, Big Jack Johnson. And he was called the Oil Man. I'm born and bred Clarksville, Mississippi, all the way. And Big Jack used to tell me all the time, anybody that plays the blues in Clarksville is somebody big. So we put a big on the front of it. And anyway, I grew up listening to guys like Muddy Waters, Phil Walker. These were Muddy Waters was my actual homeboy. And as a kid, I grew up listening to Muddy, like for real. But Muddy left Chicago and his style changed. He went from the acoustic guitar to the electric guitar. And he was like a kid with a new toy. He didn't know how to act with an electric guitar. But man, he blew Chicago up. Yeah. So, and I'm kind of like the kid that's left behind. All the old greats they left behind. And they used to play that stuff like. Hey babe, honey
Yeah.
Hey babe, honey, what's wrong with you? You don't treat me, little girl, like you used to do. If you happen to come to Clarksdale, be on the lookout for old Big T. I'm gonna be laying it down just right now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I've known this band since mid to late 70s, Mr. Keith Dunn. And he actually has a history here in Texas. He played in a band with David Murray and Steve Fulton and Eddie Stout, and also had a band with Little Junior One Hand and Mike Buck called the Headhunters. And he played harmonica with Jimmy Rogers' band. He's Jimmy McCracken's nephew from Boston, Massachusetts. He hangs his hat in Rotterdam, Holland these days. He has for a number of years, probably 30 years. Put your hands together, Mr. Keith Dunn.
Thank you very much. Like Brian said, I'm based over in Rotterdam, Holland now. But I used to live here for quite a number of years, and yeah, we made a little noise back in the day. It's, you know, I played behind a lot of people. I'm lucky enough to play with a lot of people. I was helped out by people like Big Walter Horton and James Cotton, you know, back in the day coming up in Boston in the early 70s and so. And basically, I was really inspired by listening to James Cotton, music of James Cotton. And, Cotton was playing in Boston quite a lot during that time, so I actually got to see him and hang with him and Big Walter. And it's basically, you go for that, go in Little Muddy Waters, and Jimmy Rogers and Junior Wells, and that's basically, you know, the people who really inspired me to do what I do. And then I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of the people in this room at different times over the years. We try to inspire each other and basically keep the thing going that was done by people like Muddy Waters, James Cotton. You know, I was lucky enough to play with Big Jack Johnson. You know, try to keep the thing going for people like that. Basically, that's what I do. I recorded a solo harmonica record, and well, I guess not a whole lot of harmonica players have done that. I'll play a little bit of that style now. What a man's supposed to do. Can't get a job, all the doors close to you. Where you need to make a dollar. Where you need to make a dollar. If you can't make it one way, well, I guess you make it with the other.
Mid-70s, we're both from Connecticut, and we met each other probably about 76, 77. Mr. L.A. Jones has been playing guitar and backing up many of the old school guys. He used to call me on the phone, hey, I got a gig with Otis Rush, can you come and play guitar with me? Hey, I got a gig with Big Time Sir, can you come and back us up and play with us? And we had lots and lots of fun. And he's hung his hat all over the country. He was in Texas for a while, he was in California for a long while. Now he and his lovely wife, Adriana, hanging her hat in St. Louis. She's right over here. And they're here for the festival, and we're mighty happy to have them here. Put your hands together, Mr. L.A. Jones.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I remember Keith Dunn playing with Roomful of Blues and a bunch of other people up in the hotbed of the blues, Connecticut. Actually, Connecticut was in the center of a blues scene in the revival in the late 60s, in between Boston, where Muddy and Luther Guitar, Junior Johnson, James, and all those guys. Rhode Island, where Roomful and a bunch of other great blues, you know, jump swing and all that stuff, and New York at that time. And, you know, I got to back up a bunch of cool guys and was a road manager for Eddie Kirkland for a few years. And he showed me how to cook a pot roast under his car hood while he was driving down the road.
Did he show you how to change your transmission in the middle of winter by yourself?
I don't want to go on. I could tell you all kinds of stories about Eddie, but he was amazing. You know, he was grueling, man. He wouldn't even sleep in the hotel. He was kind of like a feral cat. He stayed at my house for 2 weeks one time, and it took him a week to come inside. He was just sitting out in the car the whole time, working. I am not exaggerating, you know. And you know, and so it was a blast. I wrote a song about it. It's too much work going on around the house. Too much work going on around the house. It's just like Grand Central Station. Every time I get ready to go out, but I don't want to talk about me anymore. Hash Brown, what do you think of me?
Oh, yeah. You know what I think.
All right, thank you. I'm going to hand it on down to Mr. Hook. How about it for him, ladies and gentlemen?
I love that 10-pound thumb.
Same thing, ladies and gentlemen. I've known all these guys for so long, I forgot all of them. Actually, Hook Herrerra and I had a band in Dallas for a while with Freddie Farrah Walden and Eddie Stout. We did one record. If you can find it, it's a pretty cool one.
What label was that?
The
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee record.
Pee-wee.
Yeah, Pee-wee records.
Yeah.
The one of Eddie's first labels.
I remember that.
Summit Burnett.
Yep. And Summit Burnett, where all the good stuff came from. And actually,
We did UP's record that day.
Yep.
And we drank a whole cardboard box full of booze.
And it didn't leak. I've been knowing Steve Hook Herrerra for, God, I don't even know how long. We haven't seen each other probably in 25 years. He hangs his hat in Sweden on an island out in Sweden these days. He's been in town for a while trying to make a few guilders to bring home. Put your kroners, yeah. Put your hands together for Hook Herrerra.
A lot of history between me and Keith and Hash. And I know where Eddie is. But I come from California, from East San Jose. I grew up in the Bay Area. Started seeing blues up there in the late 60s and the 70s. one of my brothers went to Vietnam and the other one didn't, and the one that didn't took me everywhere, and so I got to see just everybody. By the time I got down to being in the Navy down in San Diego, I got hooked up with William Clark, bless his heart, and he took me around to Watts and introduced me to everybody, and Watts was fucking badass in those days. And I got in with Smokey Wilson, and it became like another dad to me, granddaddy, whatever. It was, well, telling stories about everybody. One day, way later on, fast forward, Smokey was on tour in Europe, and I was on tour somewhere else, but I had some days off, and I had enough time to go surprise him on his tour. And I flew into Saragossa City in Spain, and I came up on stage with Smokey, and he grabs a microphone, and he's got his arm around me, and he's telling the whole crowd all about our history, and at one point he realizes probably nobody's understanding a word he says. And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "I don't speak your English." Which made perfect sense. But I feel like at my age, I feel like I caught like the tail end of so much great shit. Because when I was a kid, Hubert was still, in his late 40s, and stuff like that. By the time I got to be here, was after Eddie Stout and Anson and Daryl and all them used to come and stay at my house in San Diego. And then I came up to Dallas and wound up staying at everybody else's house. And it was a golden time for us being so young and having access to Hubert Sumlin and Sam Myers and Alex Moore and just Gray Ghost and everybody who was around, and it was a blast, and this is the culmination of all of that, and all the times at Antone's that we got to play with every fucking hero we had in our lives. And then afterwards go out and run around and drink beer and drive around with the top down and chase girls and do crazy shit. And it was fun. Hubert Sumlin shows up on your front porch at 10 in the morning with a plastic baggie full of spaghetti and a tackle box full of harmonicas and a 6-pack of beer. You're going to have a good day. And that's what the blues is to me, was the community and the family. It's like we didn't just play together. It was like, hey, can you take my mom to the doctor? Hey, can you come and get, and we were on it all the time. When Sam Myers didn't have a gig, what did he do? He'd say, let's go get a gig. And he'd play drums. Yeah. And he'd call out every fucking song. Off the wall.
Or he'd show up at Hash Brown's Jam.
Because he wanted to play, and he wanted to play it right, and he wanted to play with people who loved hearing it right, and he wanted to hear it done with heart and soul and meaning. And that is one thing that keeps me alive. Is the blues, the real blues that I got to live in my life. Running around to the south, running around all through here. And here's a little of mine. If you cross your heart to someone, oh man, you're not supposed to tell a lie. If you cross your heart to someone, you're not supposed to tell a lie. Before you say wrong, got to be so long, or either goodbye.
I want to also call Boo Boo Davis is right sitting back there. Maybe he can get up and say a word or two.
Yeah, come on, Boo Boo.
He's from Drew, Mississippi originally. Yeah. And he's played with everybody. Hey, you get up here.
Blues.
No.
That's what.
Yeah. Come on up, Boo Boo. We want to hear from you. Coming through.
Name. How I put that name here. You had 3 brothers. The name you out there. James. Boo Boo. Jack, Big Jack. Little Jack. I know the song about the hall. You say Hungry Jack? My home is Mr. Drew, Mississippi. I know it's like that. Proud of it. Big Jerry, remember Big Jerry? I'm proud of it. I know all the time.
Anybody got a clean, shiny new harmonica you can borrow?
I played guitar for years. My father.
Talking to that microphone so all these people can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No, come on, sing it.
Now you ain't gonna want it. And like I said, blues come from a long, long way and still come. But a lot of people don't know what the blues is all about. When you get up and play it, oh yeah, I play the blues, I do this and I do that. You don't know nothing about it. You ain't never had experience. Huh? When you're in experience, you know what the blues is all about. And that's him. Hard. Blues. Hard. Blues. Hard. Blues. You got to make everybody happy out there. You can't get up there and make yourself happy. You got to make the public happy. All over the world. You got to make the public happy. When I was 5 years old, you know about it. Okay, my value. This is what my mom passed. And I was 5 years old, ladies and gentlemen, she passed. And I was mumbling and being walking around the house singing. She had one song, special, church song, for me to sing. I walked in the hospital, she was on her time. When I walked in there, she raised up. Yeah, my baby, sing my song, baby. I said, you sure had a wonderful time, yes you did. Sure had a wonderful time, yes you did. They're riding on the highway, y'all, yes you did. Sure had a wonderful time. I said, God was good to us, sure had one of us, God was good to us. Sure had a wonderful time. Hey, now, she said, and some old lady was in there. I said, Miss Annabelle, I didn't know that. They pointed their hand, there were 3 of them, old lady, church lady. I said, Miss Annabelle, you know what? That young man gonna make a lot of people happy all over the world. I didn't know, I looked at them, I didn't know what you were talking about. I looked at them, I didn't know what you were talking about. But since that girl's building the man, I knew not what you were talking about. So I've been somewhere everywhere, all over the world. I've been to Amsterdam, Cambridge, all over the world over there. I've been all over there. The mountaintop, I've been to the mountaintop. I wrote a song about the mountaintop. All them places over there, been there. Been to Turkey. The turkey played over there. The owl. Wrote a song about the owl. I've been all over the world over there. And like I said, Clarksdale, I played in Clarksdale. You had one that played your record. WDIA, they called it. B.B. King. That's why him and the fine blind boys, the 3 fine boys. You would go there to broadcast at that station, Clarksdale, Mississippi. That's why you had to go to broadcast. So B.B. King wrote that poetry song, Sweet 16, I would put him on the mountain. And I played with him for years, back years. When I was a young man, I used to play guitar. And I'd come up to church playing guitar. Had a little choir, left up the church there, started singing the blues. I started singing the blues. My brother went up north, sang a little. He went up there, he started playing with Doc Terry. And he told me, he come down and said, hey bro, hey man, I said, you need to come up north. Maybe you do better. So I'm playing with a band up there, and I can get you to play with me. I said, oh man, no, I ain't gonna come up there. He said, oh yeah, man. You know, so I made my mind go up. So when I got there, sister-in-law, but he locked me in the room back in the back. He told me, hey, John. His name was John David. All over the world, you couldn't find nobody to play better than he would. And I had the band they called the Lord King Band, through Mississippi. And I had the band they called the David Brothers Blues Band, Clarksdale, all around. I played all Mississippi, Rolling Fork, Mount Bayou, Chambers, that name. And I played all down through this place. Right. And I was singing a little blues then. Me and B.B. King had a ballad bill. You, the Lord King Band. Lord King Band. Everybody said, who the Lord King Band? Who the Lord King? My father was the leader of it. So, my brother, it was just a family. One played guitar, one played the second, and one played the bass, and my sister was singing, and my father was on the fiddle, the violin, he was playing that. And he did some things. He went all over the world himself, playing that thing for white folks in Mississippi. He used to catch the train from Mississippi, going all out of town. I didn't know where the wife was going. My older brother was taking them. And he told me, he said, yeah, son, you know, I did that, what you? Oh, I went and did a little job, you know. So, it went on, so. Then I started recording now. Record one thing. Song they called East St. Louis Blues. And number 1 was, I ain't going to East St. Louis. I ain't going back to East St. Louis. I ain't going back to East St. Louis. I ain't going back to East St. Louis. The judge called my name. Son, what you doing over here? The son either can't play this band, or either do some time. That's what I told him. I ain't going back to East St. See, the judge will tell you, said, pay your fine or do your time.
Right.
And I said, you better not live in a different state. St. Louis, East St. Louis. Police sit back and watch. If you ain't drink that, you might wasn't have drunk them, because you watch it when you come out the tavern, little tavern. Get behind and throw the light on. You been drinking something? You say, no, you're alive. No, I tell you what. Come back to the car. What did you find? He said, I tell you what, I don't know what they got in there, but I'm flying out. Go back and come back. You know what? They got $100. They got a new tie and all that. Get them things. I said, well, that's your fine. Go ahead. Then when they said the jury, pay your fine, do your time. And that was for real. For real. And I love my blues. That's where I got my name from. James Boo Boo David. And I wrote a song, What Happened, down in Drew, Mississippi town. And it's for real. It was an ice storm. Ice storm. Happened down in Drew, Mississippi town. Telegram post laying out on the ground. Electrical wire was down on the ground. It was an ice storm, y'all. Happened down in Drew, Mississippi town. Drew, Mississippi town. Rolling Fork didn't have no electric light. Clarksdale didn't have no electric light. Mount Bayou didn't have no electric light. Chambers, y'all, didn't have no electric light. Rosenfeld didn't have no electric light. It was an ice store, have now the Jew Mississippi town.
We got one more gentleman here. I want to introduce.
Last but not least.
Hand that mic over.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, let me
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you can come over
Yeah,
here. Oh, yeah.
yeah, take that mic over. Keith, pull that mic over.
All right.
Kind of got hip to him from Mr. John Tavius Willis. He said, "Oh, this guy I never saw, he's real good." And I think I friended him on
Make sure you tell them the truth now, actually.
and he started posting these great videos, and I went, "Oh my God, this guy is good. He's good. He's good. He's young. He's into the old stuff like we are."
Except we ain't young.
And last year, Sean was here, and he's here this year, and Addie says he's bringing it back every year. So. Mr. Sean Mack McDonald, put your hand up.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a tradition. My father taught me to acknowledge the elders in the room, so I want to say thank you. Not calling y'all old now, but the elders. So thank you all for accepting me and having me here. Thank you to the people of Austin, Texas, and those who flew out from wherever y'all are from. I know y'all travel a long ways. Hey, Mr. Orange. So a little bit about me. I'm the baby of the bunch. I'm just hitting 22 years old in July. And the way I got started was music was in my family, on my father's side especially. He says that there were ancestors of mine who used to play. And like for instance, my great-great-grandfather, Benny McDonald, whose nickname was Stony, him and his brother Leon used to, in Arkansas, they used to play guitar. And I think there was a juke joint run by their father who, they used to play down there. And once their father passed or something like that, he switched over to playing gospel music. And so he came up playing in the church and things like that. So fast forward to me, my father was a drummer, and I got started out playing drums. He used to say I used to shuffle the sheets in the crib and stuff rhythmically. So it was always there. But when it came out, my father started me out when I was about 2 years old playing the drums. And then I saw Ray Charles movie, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna start playing the piano. Then I heard Lil Walter play Key to the Highway, and I said, oh, now I want to play the harmonica. Then I got to be 7 years old, and I grew up around guitar players, and I'd seen videos of Muddy Waters and Chuck Berry and B.B. King, and all those folks. So my mama said, she said, well, what you want for Christmas? I said, I want a guitar. And she said, I'm not buying you no guitar. She said, you're going to pick it up for 2 weeks, you're going to put it in the corner, it's going to collect dust. So my grandmother said, well, what does he want for Christmas? She says, well, he wants a guitar, but I'm not going to pay for it for him because he's not going to waste my money. So my grandmother said, I'll buy it for him. And I've been playing for the last almost 15 years.
Yeah.
So my grandmother made a really good investment. I don't want to waste her money either. But growing up, I grew up in church and grew up singing in the church and playing in the church, playing piano in the church, and doing blues on the side. You get a little flack for that, church folks. But those that don't know, blues and gospel go hand in hand. So it was I hear some amens back there. I know what I'm talking about. So it's a huge part of what I do. And of course, I grew up being from Augusta, Georgia. Grew up listening to James Brown, and Ray Charles, and Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, a lot of the soul people. But on my own, I found out about people like T-Bone Walker, Lowell Fulson, Hound Dog Taylor, Pete Guitar Lewis, a lot of people who were fairly known in the blues world. But even then, I wanted to go back a little bit more and find out people who were more on the obscure side. So that became a part of my sound, is finding those who don't get really listened to and seeing how I can adapt that to today's stuff. And I guess that's what sets me apart, is because a lot of people listen to, a lot of people can play B.B. King, a lot of people can play Howlin' Wolf, a lot of people can play Muddy Waters. Not a lot of people can play Johnny Otis records and things like that. So that's a huge part of what I do, and I'm just really glad to be here again. And thank you all once again for coming out. And I'll do a little. We got any J.B. Lenore fans?
Yeah.
That was one of the first J.B. Lenore songs I ever heard, and I've been meaning to do it. I've only done it a couple of times, so I thought that this would be a great place to try it out if y'all don't mind. Mama, please talk to your daughter for me. Mama, please talk to your daughter for me. She made me love her and I ain't gonna leave her, baby. I ain't gonna stand up quitting and she won't dog me around. I ain't gonna stand up quitting and she won't dog me around. If she dog me around, she'll leave 6 feet in the ground. You should talk to your daughter. 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 She done made me love her and I ain't gonna leave her, baby.
See if we can get him just to come up for a second. Mr. Orange Jefferson.
Yeah.
Who's an Austin stalwart. We want to see if we can get him to come up here. Put your hands together.
I was listening to him when he said J.B. Lenore, and I used to play with Terry Cogny. He said, this is Lenoir. Not Lenoir, it's Lenoir.
Why you ever gotta correct people, man? I don't say French.
But my name is Owen Jefferson. I started playing with Terry Owens. Anybody that's been around a little while know Terry Owens? Oh, yeah. And we met at a talent show, like a little gong show kind of thing. You know how they had these little. So he said, I said, man, I play Lightning Hopkins. He said, I know a guy play all that. And he called Terry up, and Terry came up to where we had the deal, and we played Mr. Charlie. I played harmonica, and I mean, he took me all over town, all over the state. I mean, we just went places, you know, because he had, and so he recorded me first on Catfish and Carp. And one of the songs that I'm doing regularly now is like everybody, like most of the guys, I started in church, and my grandfather named Orange Gay. He wasn't my real grandfather, but he was the only grandfather I knew. He spoiled me, did everything. You know, I got my first harmonica at about 7 or 8, and my grandmother used to walk around the house singing, Jesus keeps me near the cross. And I just started picking up on it. Eventually, I was playing, you know, what they call now by ear. And I just picked it up. And I kept doing that. And then I used to, of course, if you came up where I came up in Houston, I always packed the harmonica in my pocket on the corner under the tree. So, you know, the little wine drinking corner. So I got all that. But I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know how many people in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice had a harmonica, but I had 6 harmonicas in prison. And the warden told me, I was always a model inmate, because technically I didn't belong there. It's the system got me there. The misdemeanors, you did a misdemeanor, you need to go to prison. This is your second misdemeanor, you need to go to prison. Your third misdemeanor, I'm giving you 20 years. And so when I came to Austin, I came straight from that. My perception, and it's just mine, I'm saying, is that when they get you out like that, the reason they don't give you money is because they need you back in. You understand? To feed the system. So I made it my business. When they sent me to Austin, I was sitting here to fail. I met Terry Owens, and I've been kicking it ever since. You understand? Then I met Eddie, and now I play with Steve. And I mean, we're working on the album right now. But you got to see Hawk Man. That way I can say I played with Keith Dunn. We're just gonna do a little bit of it. But I wrote this song about a guy that was in prison. And the story goes that they let Cadillac, he drove the tractor. They let him out because nobody was alive anymore in his life. He lost everything. So he went, when they got ready to let him out, he said, "Can I come back home?" And I wrote that song. Give me a seat. Hit it. Now you blow it. I want you to blow it. I don't want to blow your phone. All right? Give me a
It's
seat.
like kissing your girlfriend.
Hey, Warden. Wow, wow. Can you let a poor man come back home? Hey, Warden. Can you let a poor man come back home? It's so lonesome in this old free world. All the friends I had is gone. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, get your hands together. Put your hands together, Mr. Sean McDonald. Gentlemen, y'all want do a little jam here for a few minutes with everybody. Just pick,
All right.
pick a key and go. Got 13 minutes. Go ahead, Tim.
How many more years? I'm a birthday girl for my clothes. And when I go, nobody knows. Good job, man. My baby got herself
But you can't stand me no more.
Eastside Kings Foundation, Eastside Kings Festival 2023 coming up.
Yeah.